Chapter 4. Christ accelerates the time of his return. Acceleration is the change of velocity with respect to time. An acceleration is caused by external forces acting upon an object. Thus, acceleration is expressed as velocity divided by time. An acceleration is caused by the forces that displace mass, and force is derived from the Latin word fortia, which means a body of armed men. And the force of this earth has been dictated by armed men. For it was by force that Laban tried to take Jacob's wives. Genesis 31 and 31. And it was by the force of Shechem that he raped Jacob's daughter. Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her. He took her and lay with her by force. Genesis 34 and 1. And it was by the force that Edom kept the Israelites from passing through. Edom came out against him with a heavy force and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to allow Israel to pass through his territory. Numbers 20 and 21. And it was by force that the priests despised the Lord's offering. No, but you shall give it to me now, and if not, I will take it by force. Thus the son of the young man was great before the Lord. For the men despised the offering of the Lord. 1 Samuel 2 and 12. And it was by force that the work on the temple was halted. As soon as the copy of King Artaxerxes' document was read before Rehum and Shimshai the scribe and their colleagues, they went in haste to Jerusalem, to the Jews, and stopped them by force of arms. Ezra 4 and 23. For man has been subject to the force of earth's rule. For from the days of John the Baptist until now the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and violent men take it by force. Matthew 11 and 12. For Christ warned his followers to be wary of earth's force. Do not take money from anyone by force, or accuse anyone falsely, and be content with your wages. And the people tried to take Christ by force. But Christ perceived that they were intending to come and take him by force to make him king, withdrew again to the mountain by himself alone. John 6 and 15. And by his death on the cross, the old covenant has been abolished, and a new covenant is now enforced. For a covenant is valid only when men are dead, for it is never enforced while the one who made it lives. Hebrews 9 and 15. For force is the power which accelerates mass. This force is equivalent to mass multiplied by acceleration. For man is either subject to the forces of Satan, or he is protected by the enforcement of God's hands. For force is derived from the Latin word enfortia, which means to place in one's hand. For the mass of the flesh is subject to Satan, but the mass of his people are placed in God's hands. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I will give eternal life to them. And they will never perish, and no one will snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of the Father's hands. John 10 and 27. And accelerate is derived from the Latin word acceleratus, which means to hasten. And in time his saints earnestly pray, O God, hasten to deliver me, O Lord, hasten to my help. Let those be ashamed and humiliated who seek my life. Let those be turned back and the dishonoured who delight in my heart. Let those who be turned back because of their shame who say, Aha, aha. Let all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. And let those who love your salvation continually say, Let God be magnified. But I am afflicted and needy. Hasten to me, O God. You are my help and my deliverer. O God, do not delay. Psalm 70:1. For God has the power to hasten the sun. So the sun stood still and the moon stopped, until the nation avenged themselves of their enemies. Is it not written in the book of Jashar? And the sun stopped in the middle of the sky and did not hasten to go down for the whole day. Joshua 10:13. And God hastens to assess our needs. O you my help, hasten to my assistance. Psalms 22:19. And he hastens the minds of those who search for the truth. To the mind of the hasty will discern the truth, and the tongue of the stammers will hasten to speak clearly. Isaiah 32:4. Then all your people will be righteous. They will possess the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. The smallest one will become a clan, and the least one a mighty nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in its time. Isaiah 60:21. And in haste the body of his people wait for the Son of Man to return. The change of motion is proportional to the motive force impressed that is made in the direction of that force. Just the change of man's motion is proportional to the force of God's hand, which hastens mankind in the direction